Everything I spit rare, we sound in that gray area podcast. They talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch it once again. Every time I spit.
I was trying to give this album a low rating, but you guys getting me gas.
So today we are reviewing Earl Sweatshirt's, I don't even know what number album this is, but his latest album, Sick. And to be honest, I feel like this is going to be a good one because Earl Sweatshirt has most definitely impressed us to begin with, then fallen off, and now he's come back with this. But, you know, we'll get into that as we get things going. So, up until this album, what was everyone's kind of experience with Earl Sweatshirt? Because for me, it's been a rocky ride, that's for sure.
I'm just going to say he's one of my favourite rappers.
Serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe not top 10, but definitely like top 15, top 20.
Didn't Eminem
I don't
say
think
something
Earl's
about
really
him?
ever fallen off. Huh?
Didn't Eminem say something about Earl? Like he's the next big rapper or some shit like that. I'm pretty sure someone co-signed him to that level once.
I don't know, but then I feel like
Jay-Z.
Eminem got upset about what Tyler and Earl said, didn't he, as well, around the kamikaze time?
Oh God! I mean, I don't know anything about all that. But I just know Earl had like big cosigns from the beginning before we were really kind of getting projects like from him.
Yeah, well, like for me, you all know that back in the day, like when Odd Future at their peak, I didn't get it. It wasn't for me. For whatever reason, I was I started getting into them as they started sort of branching out, and then retrospectively begun to appreciate them. But Earl was always Frank Ocean and Earl for me. Earl always stood out. I think just because the pen was always so good, and even though he had like the wild lyrics and he was definitely influenced by Tyler and everyone around him, there was just something special about the way he raps. And then I think also with the whole like him going off to Samoa and the Free Earl thing and all that, I think it just led to this real. We didn't have much Earl music, so there was this big anticipation for him coming back and putting out Doris and things like that. So yeah, ever since them days, man, I've always been really into Earl. I think he's one of the best lyricists, the best technicians out there since he's been around.
Mm. What about you, Theo or Kieran? What's your kind of experience with Earl Sweatshirt been like these days? Or not these days, back in the day, should I say?
Well, it's been a bit of a rocky ride. I mean, it's because I loved when I first got introduced to Earl and I heard Doris. I just thought, oh, this is just amazing. This guy's just, as Sean's touched on, lyricism is just amazing. It's just on point, and he's just got a unique style of how he delivers, and I just love his flows and just the pockets that he finds himself in. So I just loved it. But then as time went on, I don't know, I felt that I didn't really stick with Earl's music. I know it kind of went downhill again, but I almost feel like I discredit in that way because I should have maybe kept on the ride, but I felt like I wasn't interested anymore. So I kind of fell off. And then I heard Earl now and again. And I thought, oh yeah, that's nice. But I never really tapped into him. And again, not like when I was listening to Doris. So I kind of fell off. But obviously when I heard that, when he came out with the single and I knew this album was coming out, then yeah, I kind of criticized myself again. I should have maybe followed the ride, but no, I kind of fell off really.
Oh, can I just ask, like, because I feel like you all feel that way. Like, when do you feel Earl fell off? Because for me, other than Feet of Clay, which was just a kind of brief dud, in my opinion, I think every album's gotten better up to this point. Like, I'm saving it for this album. I think every single album from Earl got better. And
that's what I was going to say, though.
Yeah,
that's my journey. Like, I liked Earl for Doris, and I was doubtful, like, is he going to go commercial? Like, or would he go commercial? Because he's such a good rapper, but is he like a hot rapper or is he a technical one? And then when he did I Don't Like Ish, I Don't Go Outside, I liked that album a lot because I felt like he was doing like emo rap, but in a lyrical way. It wasn't like how the emo trap rappers were. So I was like, cool, I'm vibing. But some rap songs, I actually think that was an amazing album, and I think it is better as well. So like you think as well, Sean, I think it improved, but it just wasn't the vibe I was vibing to with Earl. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of like, yeah, it's like 1 minute songs. It's like it's such a hard album to grasp, isn't it? It's like 15 songs and it's a lot. But
it's also like it's it's stress and anxiety personified, so it's not easy to listen to.
It's
You know
not,
what I
it's
mean?
not. And then like Feet
guy
of
was
Clay, like you
hurting.
said as well, Feet of Clay is not really a main release, is it?
Feet of
It's
Clay's
like an EP.
rubbish, man. That's what I was hoping we would get to eventually.
No, but
man.
it's negligible though, right? Isn't it like a negligible release in a way?
Yeah, there's
Just
two
little-
reasons why I agree with you, Kieran. One, because it's an EP, and two, the year straight after, from like 2020 until now, the feature run that Earl's been on has said that, you know, that was a period. You know, some rap songs and Fleet of Clay, I put them in the same kind of bracket just because of there was this very noticeable difference in Earl's delivery, in the style of production, and you know, the content got even darker and whatnot. And I'm like you, Sam, I weren't messing with Feet of Clay. It was just too far left for me. It just didn't sound good at all. But
This is the thing though, I'm not even hearing the
2020 he was
bars on them. In some rap songs and Feet of Clay, I can't even hear his lyrics really that much at all.
That's the thing with it, right?
Yeah.
For me, some rap songs felt good. It was fun to listen to. It was like, oh, this is different. And then Feet of Clay is like, this is too different. Like, and maybe I should listen to it more than twice. But I listened to it once. I was like, nah, give it another chance. Like, you know, the week after, next week, I came back to. I was like, I can't deal with this. But then, like Sean was saying, the feature run from, you know, Feet of Clay till now has been impeccable. But those aren't the same. Those aren't the same rappers. Like, same rapper that was in those two projects. Like, some rap songs, Feet of Clay and feature run Earl are three different people, but they're the sum of all the parts that have moved us to where we are now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I feel like every project since Doris was an indicator of what was coming next. So, well, maybe not so much with the second album, but I feel like in I Don't Like Shit, he just chewed off the fat and really focused in. And then there wasn't any of the real sort of humor or, I guess, wildness that you got in Doris. It was very much like talking about his issues with substance abuse and relationships and this isolation that he put himself in. And then that kind of was an indicator of the almost like 2 or 3 year period where we barely heard from Earl. And he sounded like someone, like when he came back with some rap songs, he sounded like he'd aged about fucking 10, 20 years. Like he just sounded stressed and like he'd just been through it, and like someone who had been in isolation basically, but that had matured. But then if you think about songs like Nowhere to Go and is it Peanut, like they were very sort of, if you listen to them and listen to Feet of Clay, there's a real lineage of like the route he was going down. And I think sometimes as well, when a rapper releases an album, no matter how depressing it is, we think that that's like their therapy and then they're better now. Like that, they went through that and they put it in an album. I don't think really Earl had got through the stuff he was talking about in some rap songs, and it was kind of apparent in Feet of Clay that he was in a bad place, I think. Yeah, bad place.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I feel like he's still in a somewhat of a bad place now, but he's more comfortable with it to kind of like, you know, get to where we're getting to. We're talking about the album. What were my expectations going into it? I don't know if I had any. I was just like, you know what? New Earl is always exciting because it's like really out of Odd Future. We had the 2-3 big stars. We had Frank, we had Tyler, we had Sid and the internet, and, you know, Earl. But Earl is always giving us the least to kind of hold on to out of all those other 3-4 people. And I was like, cool, new Earl. Like, even though Feet of Clay was rubbish, like, I'm still going to have a listen. So my expectations going into it are like, this could be really, really good, or this could be just another kind of thing, like, where he's working shit out type thing.
Yeah. I was expecting an improvement. Definitely. I was expecting an improvement. I think the features made me think that he was in a better place. So you know, whether that was going to be reflected in his, you know, his delivery or his content, that was what I was expecting. And I guess that was kind of right with this album, not to, you know, jump straight into it, but he definitely, like you say, it's not like he is, I don't know what the right word is. It's not like he's cured or he's better or he's necessarily happy and all that, but it's like he has come to terms with these feelings and what he goes through and all that, you know.
No, definitely. Even 2010, such a good lead single leading up to you. You hear it and you're like, hold on, this is his mixed. His voice is sounding mixed differently. I haven't heard that since like I Don't Like Shit or even Doris. And you know, this album, Young Guru was the mixer for him as well.
Yeah,
If
which
anyone
says a
check
lot.
that. Yeah.
It's just interesting how he's, you know, technically new, but his sound is like really old. Even though his voice is, do you know what I mean? Like old rappers have an old style of rapping, old flows, old like hibbity voice style, but like is like something new, but on some old like I don't know how deep we want to dive into the album so early, where it's like these beats are like new wave boom bap, but like still very, very like dusty. You can feel the records like.
Yeah, I agree with Kieran though. The mix in this was way cleaner. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. I think it was very, very. With some rap songs, it was the purpose of it was to sound very rough, and you know, whereas with this one, clean, and then it reflects
trumps
his
it though,
delivery.
isn't it? He sounds better on it, and like it's more enjoyable to hear him on it as well.
And as a fan, I like that too. I know sometimes we get the best music from people's troubles and what they go through and that, but I'm pleased that Earl sounds like this, because if you kept going down that Feet of Clay rabbit hole, it wouldn't have even just been a case of like I don't like the music. I'd have been like, oh shit, I'm actually worried about this guy, because that music. I'm repeating myself now. He did not sound well, whereas now he sounds healthier. He sounds clearer. There's like this renewed energy, just in better spirits, I guess.
Well, it almost feels like he's been through it and he's able to comfortably speak about it. You know, when you have a moment like that and it's hard at the time and you can't get your thoughts and everything into like sort of like one sentence, whereas now he's been through it, he understands it, he's still going through it, but he's in a position where he can actually deliver it in a way that's clear to everyone for them to understand, instead of it just being for him just to understand. And that's just like a sort of natural process. So it was nice to hear Earl like that on this album.
Yeah, and it's so it's not well, he is short, but you know what I mean. I feel like you can't get lost in this album. There's no kind of mixed messages. It's a very kind of concise project, and you go, yeah, this person's doing well. You can hear he's doing well, and this is a very well thought out track list, let alone a well thought out kind of collection of songs. You know what I mean? As in, it could have been way more bloated, and you know, in the last year or you know before that, we've definitely had some bloated projects, not to name any names, but I'm sure a few will come to everyone's mind for long projects. This is half an hour. It's 10 songs. Some of the songs are so short, but they feel perfect in the length. Like I don't know.
That's the thing as well. You know, the pre-release singles,
full length
2010,
tracks.
Titanic, Taboo Rasa, they're the long ones, isn't it? He's fed us what to go to, and then the rest is kind of like that some rap songs kind of mode. Yeah. I can't explain it.
They only have two long songs that are over 3 minutes. So what are Vision and Fire in the Hole? And Fire in the Hole, like the last minute and a half of it, I think, or minute, it's just some piano shit. Like it's not any raps. But I'm not mad at the length of these tracks, to be honest. Like, because like I said,
I'm not.
You flick on the album and the album just goes like that. Like I think, was it yesterday? Maybe before, just a couple of days ago, I was listening to it and it started looping. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize it looped. Do you know what I mean? I was just enjoying it.
This album loops so nicely.
Oh, it loops brilliantly, doesn't it? When I've had it on loop, it's just impeccable. I have to say, it's just so nice how it just loops, and you can just continue listening to this like non-stop. Like, I mean, I listened to this about 6 times before even getting on the call because it loops so nicely. Just carry on, just doing what I'm doing. It's just brilliant. It's
because I think it's got these like intervals. It's like you got the intro, then you got live, that middle bit, and then you've got Fire in the Hole. But it's like the second half of that is like a little interlude moment again.
Yeah. But at the same time, he is packing so much into some of these songs.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can get to like the content and the themes and that, but I was stuck on Old Friend for ages, man. There was so much in that I was unpacking. So much. I mean, what were the...
It's a wheel up. It's actually a wheel up tune.
It is. Yeah. I definitely did that on the first listen as well.
I was doing that today. It's mad.
Because I think Old Friend is also... I know it's the first album on that's first song on the album, but it's also a good kind of place to talk about the themes in that. I mean, what did you pick up on? Like what was sort of make you think?
One, isn't it?
Yeah, I was to say he was struggling with, obviously he's a celebrity, but it's like for celebrities, COVID was terrible. Because as much as you hate being in the public eye and whatever, that's where your money comes from. He probably couldn't perform. He couldn't, you know what I mean? Like artists were really struggling, and it was like a nice kind of realization that he said in, I've got the lyrics here. He said, I found in the middle in a bit of balance. Like, I don't even know what that means. He's like fever in the cabin. Like he's like, I'm stuck inside. I'm having to quarantine. But it's like, I guess I'm all right with it. I used to say I don't like shit. I don't go outside.
He's familiar with it, innit?
Yeah.
And it's like, I did this already. So it's like, I'm back with my old friend, this whole like isolation.
But it's like finding the middle in a bit of balance. It's like, you know, like when you're balancing, you're already kind of off as it is. It's like the middle is the point where you should be the most happy, but it's like you're still having to keep yourself like together is what I got out of this. And it's like,
which is mad, isn't it?
but it's just like, how do you think of saying something so deep in 2 bars? And you know, there's so much more he says in the following bits of the verse. I'm just like, you're very skilled, and this is like a great start to the album.
It's the wordplay on it as well. Like he doesn't do these things, like these play around things. Like I think MF Doom often would do stuff for a joke. I was not really joking at all. He's just trying to give you depthful things every single bar.
Yeah, at this point in his career, he takes it very serious, I think. So for me, the overarching theme for me is reflection. I feel like he is reflecting on several things about himself and about society that have happened over the last sort of 1.5 to 2 years. The thing that, I mean, going back to him and his performance in that, I mean, the one thing you can always expect from Earl is just like, you know, crazy lyricism, mad schemes and all that. And an old friend, he just gives it to you straight away. There's like, I think it's from, where is it? It's like, from I ain't count no blessings, I sure as shit could measure the whole way through. Sorry, no, where he says blinking for some feasible methods to free yourself, the whole way to the end, he's just going on that same scheme and like with the internal rhymes. But then going back to more of the themes, he's kind of like, there's like double and triple entendres within a lot of the things he's saying.
It's a lot. It's so much.
Yeah. So like the first few lines where he talks about, you know, strong spirit where the body couldn't get asylum, the cost of living higher than cross the picket line and get the virus. There's obviously
as good as Lupe Fiasco. That's
crazy. That's what I mean.
It's mad.
The lyricism is like disgusting.
I'm agreeing with you. I think this is like so high level, but obviously on a sort of very on the nose type thing, it's clearly referencing the pandemic, you know, physical.
It's easy to understand as well. Yeah, because there's relatable lines in it, like the cross the picket line, get the virus, type of stuff like that. You just stuff we associate with really easily right now.
But then maybe I'm looking too far into it. But then when he's talking about the picket line, I start thinking about, well, there's obviously like workers and striking and things like that. But then there was also, it made me think of, you know, after George Floyd was murdered and then the Black Lives Matter movement took off again and people were out protesting, it gave me that feeling of like, people were probably sitting at home like, I want to go out and do that. I want to go out and join that cause, but there's this pandemic going on. I'm going to get this virus. And then he says like, Wildcat has got him in a bind, stay inside. And he says about Mad Hatters capping every line. It's like, within that, I'm thinking, oh, then there's something else about
Alice in Wonderland, right?
Well, it is. It's Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, 100%.
And then he says something about they start hacking when they can't shrink us. And it's like, well, there's the word shrink in there. And I think that could be related to sort of mental health and you know, therapists and stuff like that. But then, like, again, going back to sort of Mad Hatters capping, it's like, is he talking about, I don't know, politicians and lying and do you know what I mean? And then you've got like the whole MAGA hat thing.
He's
There's
very
so
conscious
much in there.
He's very conscious of what's going on in these first few bars. Like, it's like what you said, because I was on the same wavelength of cross the picket line and get the virus type thing. It's like, you could still, like, in this tough time, you could want to go out and do the best you can do, right? Whether that's go out and protest, go out and even work for your family. But it's like, if you do that, you're going to get the virus. And everybody's sending you different stuff. And, you know, everybody who's listened to this, obviously you weren't born yesterday, unless you listen to this like 15 years into the future, which means hello. But yeah, you know, they came into the pandemic, they were like, don't do this. Then we got a little bit more in, they're like, do this, don't do this, do this. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. And it's like the whole Mad Hatters capping thing is exactly what I feel like Sean just said, is like, it's politicians. it's just you don't know who to
He's
trust
saying it in
anymore.
such a smart way though. Like it's so educated.
Yes.
It's not just like shouting like, "Oh, they're out to get us." Who's like they? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of this stuff, the
Yeah,
Agent
yeah,
Smiths,
yeah.
all of that. But he does it so smart. Like it's like
Did you
how
say
can you not
Agent
believe
Smith?
what he's saying? Yeah, I know. Yeah, quick little Matrix reference.
But it's like, how many corny COVID bars have we heard in the last year or so?
Hey, fuck
Exactly.
around, get
No,
the
way too-
Wuhan
way too-
virus.
Way too many.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Oh, Fat Joe.
Shout out Fat Joe,
I almost forgot
Skinny
about that.
Joe.
Man, you hated that bar though, didn't you?
Sean hated
It was
that
just
one.
so. Do you know what it is? I rate-
No one
it's
hated
still
it.
wrong.
do you know what it is? It's because I rate Fat Joe, and it's just like that was so. It was
Didn't you
just.
say something about Harvey Weinstein as well? That really got to you?
Yeah, that one was worse, man. That one was worse. It was like, why are you saying that? There's just like nothing good can come from it. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. Yeah. So back to like what I was saying about reflection. The other thing I feel like he was reflecting on was, I guess, his career and his come up and how things have changed and his relationships with people, especially like you got like songs like Titanic where he's telling a bit of a story, and 2010. But again, in Old Friend, so I didn't clock this at first, and then someone said something in a review, and I was like, oh, they might be on something. Then I picked up on something else through that. So the title, Old Friend, OF, Odd Future, right?
Mm.
And then he says something near the end where he says, couple stains that I couldn't shield. My brother brain, maybe left brain, that we couldn't shield. Couple
What's happened
came,
to left
couple
brain
went
though?
still.
Is left brain
Exactly,
like off
but
the
then-
scene or something?
But I weren't sure about that. And then the next line he says, yeah, couple came, couple went still. And what remained of the wolves, nil. So that to me is like, I think he's talking about Odd Future there, but not in like a bitter way. Like there was some problems happened, but just like they've gone their separate ways. It's no more. But like you, it made me think, what happened to Left Brain? Like, where is he? Like I haven't heard from
I
him.
never even thought of that, of Reign of the Wolves nil. I just thought he was just kind of, like some people just get into like an animalistic bag, like how Griselda talks about, oh, big Griselda, we're a bear, whatever, grizzly. But like I thought you were talking about, now I think about it, you're right. Like as much as
Even Titanic though, like Titanic's like a big ship that sunk, right?
right,
He's talking
exactly.
about 2011 in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
song.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get to, is like the whole idea of Odd Future had so much potential, and let's not lie, obviously Sean said he didn't realize that at the time, but what's come out of there is massive talent. But it's like, why did they not remain together as a group? And I think that's like a little insight into like, couple stains that I couldn't shield, as in like, did something happen that we don't know about in the public eye? You know what I mean? That he took to heart, that he couldn't, just brush off and go, oh, that's fine. And that happened a lot. Like, what is the missing part here that's made him say things like this?
Well,
Yeah,
me
yeah.
and Sean saw them in Reading. They were animals, isn't it?
I was gonna say, maybe Left Brain might have got arrested for what he got up to. I'm not gonna. He might be in prison.
That was definitely sexual abuse. What we saw. I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
that
it was a
now,
bit
innit?
rough. It was a bit rough. But then, like I say, so I didn't clock it until someone pointed out the whole OF thing, but then when they said that, I was like, "Are you reaching?" And then, like I said, when that brain album, the brain line just sort of stuck with me, and I thought, okay, maybe he's referring to that. And then you look at the song "Sick." I started noticing other things. So he says, "Quit the frat, double back. I need 1%." So what is he saying? Like that he left Odd Future because he felt like he wasn't getting his just due? You know what I mean? I don't know, but there's just a few things here and there. But then there's also lines that suggest that it's all good, and we've seen pictures of him and Tyler together, and apparently there's been no problems. But I just feel like maybe throughout these times, throughout the pandemic and that, he's just had time to sit back and really sort of evaluate certain things that have happened. And one of the things that he's been reflecting on is these relationships with people, with the industry, with family members.
It's one of those ones as well where the idea of the word sick has so many different connotations. If you want to take it for its literal meaning, then yeah, unwell, virus, pandemic, cool, very relevant title. Then you got the modern interpretation of sick, cool, amazing, this is something that I like. But then there's also the third meaning of sick or the second meaning of sick, which is like mental health, mentally sick. And it's like, is he having like a moment where he's trying to let all three parts of that be expressed in these first couple tracks? I would say undoubtedly, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's
I think so.
just rewinding those bars that Sean was saying as well. Like he says they really be out there, shorty really from the west, just an alley cat legend in the effing flesh. And like Tyler's from West Coast, right?
Yeah.
He's from Cali.
Mm-hmm.
He's a legend at this point as well. I don't know, like, and then it leads on to the bars you said, innit, about quit the frat, double back. I need a percent. I feel
on
like
Vision.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you talk about Vision?
No, even the next bar as well. Sorry, it's just saying bluster, laugh, calm facts, like because Tyler's always joking. So I don't know. I feel like those 4 bars really actually are saying Tyler to me, but maybe I'm just seeing it too much now. That's all.
Are you talking about sick or Vision? I'm confused now.
Sick. I'm talking about sick. Sorry, I'm talking about sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Why can't I
There's something in Vision too, though. In Vision, he says something like, I did some dirt with a click, had to get clicked by myself or something like that. And then like I don't know how much you know about who he sort of more is affiliated with now, like people like Mike and the Slum Dogs. And even in 2010, he says, when he starts off by saying, I'm gonna need a bigger bag for the cohort, trying to make a millionaire out of Slum Dogs. I think he's talking about this other collective that he's been hanging around with, but I'm not even sure they're around anymore. But basically, I think that, like I said, there's all this reference to like, I was with these people, I've gone my own way, I'm now like doing my own thing, but I'm with this new collective. It's all sprinkled throughout, man. I just maybe some of it is reaching, I don't know, but it's interesting.
I don't know. I don't feel like we're reaching at all. I feel like we're hearing what we're hearing, and it's very obvious. It's not digging too deep into it. It's just thinking about what do we know versus what's been said. And do you know what I mean? That's the kind of conclusion you can end up with at that moment at this moment in time. So are we all agreeing that there's like a theme of like self-discovery, self-awareness in this album, or?
Definitely.
No, 100%. That's the vibe that I get throughout the whole album.
I think that's the main theme, really.
Yeah.
It's like, am I sick mentally, or am I just sick, like really good? Do you know what I mean? All the meanings. What you're saying.
But he's also, I noticed that, like, I've kind of got this from the last couple projects, but definitely on this one where he's more spiritual, and I think I would even go as far as saying he's religious now, because I know that in the early days he wasn't. I think he said in interviews like, I'm an atheist, and like the stuff they used to rap about said that. But even on the song Lie, he says, same one that I forgot to pray still above me. So it's like saying, I weren't following God. I weren't about that, but he was always there, or that they were always there, and I'm with them now and all that. And yeah, he's become way more spiritual, I think.
No, most definitely.
He goes into that in the last few tracks a bit more as well.
I think that comes with any kind of mental health struggle, though. When you come out the other end, you have to realize there's something bigger than yourself, because a lot of mental health issues tend to stem from looking too far in and kind of being like, oh, I'm this, I'm going through that, or in my head, this is going on, that's going on. Then to kind of get away from that, you kind of look outside of yourself. And once you look outside of yourself, obviously you see the people around you that helped you and all that kind of stuff, but then also you have to think, well, inside me, there's a way that I am able to tap into something higher than myself. So even if you are atheist,
connecting to people,
it's like an external body, that's outside of you that has helped you realize this is the vision that you're on. Like, you might have not realized it when you thought about it deeply before, but something is knocking on the door and you don't know what it is, but you almost feel that you have that connection. And then once you have that connection, it opens your mind to things, and then it's all like, excuse the pun, but you see the light, and then you kind of tap into that, and then realize, oh wow, maybe I was always meant to be on this path, and someone's helping me along that. And that's where people always get that sort of faith, because you are spot on. When people have those mental health struggles, they come out the other side, they always feel that someone's helping them along the way, and that's when they become more spiritual and more faithful.
And whether or not that's a kind of spiritual or religious journey is a whole different conversation, but it's definitely like an acceptance of, oh, there's more to life than just me, and that is a mad place to be in. Let's hope Kanye reaches that place where Kanye believes he is Jesus, but he's not. So, but what other themes stood out to anybody else? Because for me, like I already said mine about the whole
I
three
think-
different meanings of sick.
Also, just as like just self-help, like he's got a lot of coping mechanisms in it. He even ends Titanic with like, "You look drained. You should get some rest." I don't know if he's talking to himself or someone else, but like, it
Oh,
makes me
I
laugh.
thought he was
says it in a
talking to
funny way.
himself with that.
Yeah, I think it was to himself.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
He looked
just like-
drained on feet of clay.
Oh
He-
man.
Rapping like it was drained. Yeah, one of my favorite lines on here was from one of the singles. How do you say it? Is it Taboo Rasa? Is that how you? I don't know.
Tabula
No
Rasa.
clue.
I think
There's
it's
a
the
lot of
black-
words in
blank
that
slate, right?
fucking song that I don't even know how to spell.
Yeah.
That says
It means blank
"Kasisi
slate, though.
Bubutu." Hey.
Yeah. I know that. We'll get to that verse. That Jesus, Billy Woods, man. Billy Woods. Anyway, yeah. That all I know is I read on Genius apparently that it means blank slate in Latin, which is telling, I guess, of the whole thing about like reflection and stuff like that and self-discovery. But he says on there asymptomatic, but I get sick of the delays. And it again, there's like a COVID reference in there, but it made me think of like thinking about mental health in a asymptomatic way where you don't even know that you're struggling or that you're going through something, but you are, and then it's not until you're out of it when you look back and you go, oh shit, I was like,
Yeah.
I
What was that
really
about?
in a bad way.
Oh yeah, that is and that's a madness when that happens.
Yeah. Like you don't
That's
even
really
know
insightful.
that. Yeah, great line, man. The other one, and Sam, you touched upon it briefly, was just his consciousness. I guess his social consciousness. Like it's not preachy, it's not in your face, but he's really talking about some stuff on here. Like,
Oh, and he says
Talk
that at
me
the end of the skit at the end of Sick, or is it at the end of Visions? I think it's at the end of Visions where they're saying like
What should we say
music
to the young black
for-
people?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not,
that
it's not
was-
for
yeah.
entertainment, it's to like make a revolution. I think that links to
Yeah.
what Sean was just saying actually.
yeah. Well, I read that. I think just before COVID really broke out, he was working on an album, and it was going to be called. Bear with me. Album was going to be called "The People Could Fly," and that is the title of a collection of folklore stories that are based on tales of enslaved Africans. And I know that his mum was really, like, in terms of academia, she's really high up apparently. Like, not
Oh,
just like
yeah.
she's really high up. And
No,
really
that's a
well
definite thing.
respected.
She's like one of them people that back in the day would have been a Black Panther, would have been, you know, out in the streets doing the mad thing. You know what I mean? She's a proper like
She's
yeah. Go on, sorry.
and then the dad was a well-renowned poet and whatnot. So he's like, it's like he's taking on parts of them and putting it into his music. But the song, like, again, and then it was educational for me as well, because the sixth track is called Lie, isn't it? LYE.
But that's
And I
also
didn't
what you
know
can
that
use to dissolve a dead body as well.
Oh, swear.
Oh.
Breaking Bad. I was thinking, so what I read about it was it's a hair relaxer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course it is. Yeah. Man, jeez.
But you can also use
No,
it to get rid of a dead body. So when I was thinking of this, I was thinking, is he like trying to like purge himself of something? Like, and every time I think of lie, like the actual, you know, the liquid thing, I always think of someone doing something illegal and trying to get rid of that evidence type thing. But sorry, you were saying.
Oh, this
just-
reminds me of a lyric as well. Sorry, the on Chum where he's like
Yeah.
too white for the black kids, too black for the white.
Okay.
So, and like obviously like Lie's the hair relaxer. So like
Yeah.
making
Yeah,
himself have
yeah.
like white hair, but then like he's killing that dead body, his old way, owning like his own culture and ethnicity, I guess.
And isn't there a Malcolm X? There's an excerpt from like Malcolm X's biography around. Like, I don't know if it's on this track or around this track as well. Yeah, no, like I said, it was just educational for me. I wouldn't know about like, you know, the sort of details of hair relaxing and like the wider point that he's trying to make with that. So that was interesting for me.
He definitely
And then
addresses
also
it in
just
the
stuff
song,
like
though. He does talk about his head going on fire, and you know that feeling would be coming from the relaxer. But
Oh yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
means. Yeah,
man. That's
But
you know
I
what?
was
Oh,
taking it from
Idiot,
like a
because
Go on.
that's madness. Because I was just gonna say, because I've never had my hair relaxed, but my sister has, and I should have realized that, man. I
Yeah, it
should have,
starts
because
to
she
burn
said
after a
about
while.
like it starts to burn. Yeah, exactly.
But
Man,
I was
look,
thinking
I
of a
should have picked
different
that
thing,
up.
because what are you saying about what was he saying? I gritted my teeth, my eyes watered, my nose was running. Yeah, I was like,
I thought he was talking about meditation.
I thought he was talking about murdering somebody, like, you know, because there is still that kind of horrorcore aspect to us. I'm thinking like, oh, he's put the body in some lie, it's gonna, you know, dissolve.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh man,
I was in a
there's
different
triple
thought of-
entendres in that.
Sean hit the nail on the head, I think, with what he was thinking. And what you said about being too white for the black kids and too black for the whites and that kind of stuff.
I think we're all onto something.
Nah,
I think
I'm
we
not.
are. And then, like Lie has.
I'm in a different place.
You're
But
a
then
killer.
Lie also means there's the other spelling of lie, isn't there? LIE.
Yeah.
You know, to be non-factual.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
all makes sense.
I was trying to give this album a low rating, but you guys getting me gassed.
Oh,
man.
shit.
No,
I'm
fuck's
gonna
sake, man.
clip that out and put that at the beginning of
I
the
was-
episode.
I
I
was
ain't
trying
gonna
to
lie.
control myself.
I want to take out your outro, yeah, and just put that in there. I don't
Before we
think we
move
spoke
on from
about
Lie-
Tubular Rose yet, but let's go
No,
back to
we
Lie.
haven't.
What are you
No,
saying?
just very quickly. Very quickly.
Tubular
It's just-
Rose.
Well, what is it? Tabula Rasa, whatever, fam. Shut up, man. It's the same stuff.
Just to go back to Earl's pen, like there's a line here where he says, "With every triplet of trips around the sun, some of the sludge get thicker." The man's a flipping poet. Like,
What does that mean?
yeah,
Break it down.
it's like, what does it mean? But at the same time, you start picturing it. Do you know? It's just crazy. I think he's elite, man. I love it. What track did you want to go to, Sam?
The one above it, Tabula Rose.
True Rose.
Raza. I don't know what the thing is. There is such an... obviously, I don't listen to Arm & Hammer because, you know, Kieran knows why. I know why I don't listen to Arm & Hammer, yeah. But
We don't do that pig.
trust me, we don't
Oh,
do
man.
that. Why?
That pig is.
Oh, wait, I'm not even sharing audio. Mad. But yeah,
Idiom.
to be honest, this has made me want to listen to them because they say a lot of things. Like, especially because of how good this is one of the better beats on the album. Let's not lie now. No pun intended. That guy, Billy Woods, when he talks about all the Congo political party people,
Oh, man.
I was like, what the
I was
hell is going on?
Yeah.
And the way he
When he
broke down the Sesuku Mobutu, I was like, what are you doing, bro? What
Listen,
are you doing?
this is why
That-
Billy Woods
that-
was in my top 10 last year. Billy Woods
I-
is different.
Mm.
Different. level.
That was actually making me like just stand up when he started going on that bit because that was a bit mad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no. And to be honest, I think this is one of the first tracks I've heard in a while where there's 3 rappers on a song and I can't pick who's got the best verse because everybody was just doing a lot of interesting and different things. Like no one felt like they were going at each other like as in like, oh, this person's verse is better than mine, let me write a better verse, whatever. It was just like everybody came and just demolished the song in their own way.
They took on the theme as well. They took on the title of the track and did their own thing. I think they're all like top tier Premier League level on this, but Billy Woods for me has it. Billy Woods, honestly, man, when he says, "Give my babies my rhyme books, tell them do you. Give my enemies the good news. Time flew." It's just like it's a different way of just flossing or not flossing, sorry, but stunting and just saying how good you actually are. Do you know what I mean? It's hell up in Harlem, so meet me cross 110th Street. I don't know if any of you've watched Jackie Brown. I'm sure that that song is in Jackie Brown at the beginning, where Pam Grier goes along the thingy in the airport. I'm sounding like a bit of a film geek now, but
A bit of a film geek.
A bit, yeah. you take it to a new level, man. I didn't even know what the hell that film was, but moving on.
Yeah, no,
you never heard of Jackie Brown?
I've
Nope.
heard of it, yeah.
Oh,
I was
Tarantino.
about to say it's a Tarantino film. It's one of the more slept on ones, though.
Slept on, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have much action and that going on, so people don't really care for it. But
Earl catches that pocket though, and he starts flowing again. Like I think it's the second half of his verse where he keeps repeating that rhyme scheme and it just gets crazy. Like one of these bars that gets me: Southport under the North Star, forcing all the league changes. I mean, like, I just like it. I don't even understand what he's trying to say, but it's a bar.
Yeah, like we keep facts in a midnight wax, family tree sap.
It's
Like
yeah,
leap
like he's
through the
definitely-
leaves
yeah,
on familiar tracks.
I'm seeing it.
I can't even read it out because it's like it's tongue twisting, but it's just
That's
vivid.
poetry.
I like the delivery of one of the closing lines of his verse, which is like, all I could say to the times that I couldn't freeze frame, bleak fate. Like it's like you can hear him almost like losing the wind in his body. He's a bit like he's really sad about it.
Yeah. Jesus, man. But
But
then he was like, "You only trash if you trash. I keep it simple and dynamic." And I'm like, "Oh, you're not keeping it simple and dynamic, man. Don't do that to yourself."
No, but he changes the
He
way
does
he
at the
raps
same
though.
time.
But that's the thing that really like weirded me out about that bit. He starts talking about like she shimmies into the. And she's like, anyway, I'm gonna start rapping differently now. I'm like, what the hell is that about?
This is the thing that we haven't really spoken about. Earl's quite versatile on this. Like on what's it on Titanic? He like that's kind of a banger, you know. Slightly like I was reading the lyrics, like the flow he catches, and I can imagine like a trap beat under that or something.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite pocket on this is Sick. When he goes, the way he's rapping on Sick, I don't know what it is about that.
Yeah,
Really?
He's just going.
Can we not appreciate what's going on in Lobby? Because Lobby is a madness.
Lobby's a good story.
Yeah,
as well,
Lobby
isn't
is very good song.
Lobby is like, for me, that's his best rapping I've ever heard. Because it's like his voice sounds
Really?
like I don't know. It just sounds like he just woke up and he's actually in the lobby of a
that's
hotel.
the one I was talking about. Yeah, Lobby. Lobby's like a trap one, isn't it? The flow he's catching on that one.
Good
See, I like the
story,
flow I like the flow he does on 2010. That's my favorite, to be honest with you. I just love how it's.
We'll get to his favorite tunes, isn't it? 2010.
We're already halfway there.
2010 is like I'm back.
Mm.
The screams, I'm back, man.
And it's
Like
the way it
that's
comes after Old Friend as well. Like, there's something so
it comes with a
soulful,
bang,
and then-
exactly. And he's just going, for me, he's just going on. I just like that pocket that he finds himself in and never leaves.
Trust me.
Be his best song.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the whole, like, just to kind of like, we're halfway over the track list. I don't know if we want to go track by track by track, but for me, God Laughs is a bit of a low point, but it's still interesting, but it's not overly long. Titanic is amazing, and Fire in the Hole is just a nice ending. But
I'm sorry, that's a way to end an album though, with that piano going off. I see when I listen to that, I'm like just seeing like the sunset just setting off, just like closing this chapter.
He let the
album.
beat ride a little bit as well. The way the beat rides is
that was like a chef's kiss, man. The way that finished was
it's a strong end, isn't it?
Beautiful. It's just so good.
The only dip in this whole thing is God Laughs, but that's just me personally. Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm with you with it. Do you know what? With God Laughs, for me, but I'm about to maybe change my opinion, but I'll explain. So for me, with God Laughs, it was, so we've spoken about the mix and about how Guru was involved and this and that. And then God Laughs is like going back to that kind of some rap songs, Feet of Clay, murkiness. It's like, it sounds like he's like 2 meters away from the microphone. And you just think, well, why? Like, you obviously had the quality there. Why did you do it with this one? But then the first line, I'm reading it now, it says, the same dust can't stay. I've got to clean or I can't think. So is he in that state where he's just a bit messy and a bit gritty? And this is him like being a bit cathartic and getting it out. Do you get what I mean? That all I know is I trust that there's purpose to why it sounds the way it does. But
it's trippy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's trippy. Like, it's the trippiest song on the album, but it just wasn't for me. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm not saying I would take it off or anything like that. It's the only thing that for me dips the experience is that, but it doesn't fit anywhere else in the album, so let it be what it is.
And just going quickly back, when I said about that line about being simple and dynamic, he can actually have really sort of just straight to the point bars. But then with this track, God Laughs, second line, resort to cantankerous means. I've never heard that word in my life. What's cantankerous?
It's like
what does that mean?
It's like being like jarring, I think.
Okay, that makes sense because he talks about the rat race and cash play. Yeah,
the definition of cantankerous for the listeners is bad-tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative. So yeah, kind of what I said, being difficult and just an arsehole, really.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, man. There's no duds. Put it this way. There's no like skippables, really.
No, and to speak on it, taking Earl off the album, yeah. The production on this whole album is amazing, in my opinion.
Oh my god, yeah. Varied as well. Like it's not boring because it keeps switching up every time. Yeah. Like I said, from Old Friend to 2010, there's moments like that throughout.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed with Black Noise.
I was gonna say I'd never heard of him, but apparently he's famous. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I've heard of him through. I don't know if is it him? Is it one guy, one person?
Well, I think it's one person, but I'm saying I thought the way this was sounding, I thought it was just top to bottom Alchemist, but to find out it's somebody else makes sense why the beats sound how they do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Alchemist had made the whole thing.
Oh, that's what I thought. I thought it was Alchemist.
You know what? That's what I thought it was until you like I saw the front row. I was like, oh, it's not Alchemist. Oh, that's my bad. No, and normally I always check for the production as well. I just assumed it was Alchemist. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Because he's been working with Alchemist so much, I thought it was top to bottom Alchemist. So when I said I'd never heard of him, that's more credit to him that I thought he was one of the best producers out right now. The fact he produced, I think it's 2010 Vision and Tabula Rose, I think he produced.
No, he did.
not that one.
He did 2010 Vision and then Titanic and Fire in the Hole, all different beats.
That's okay.
See, that's impressive. That's really.
That's what
impressive.
I mean. It's very impressive, man. It's dynamic. I was fortunate because when 2010 first came out, I immediately checked the production.
Okay.
And I've only heard of Black Noise through Earl. He did a feature for them, and there's another connection there, or him, whatever. But yeah, man, to make 4 different beats like this is
What are we calling this subgenre as well?
Of rap.
Yeah, like what is this?
I think it's his own thing, but then it's like because we kind of have to meld these two together. Whoever Z Loopers is, he deserves all the awards in the world because he did some cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
Rising of Howard down. I was like, what is
crazy,
that? Man said, "There's an eagle." I was like, "What is that?" That's amazing, but I don't know what to call this genre because I've never heard anything like this beats wise. Like that's what I said earlier. It's like boom bap, but it's new, but it's not. But it is.
Yeah,
it's like art house boom bap. I don't know what to call it.
Is there any videos for this album? Because that would make me have more context of what I could call this. Because if you stand there with bitches shaking their bum, like then I'll be like, this is just rap.
There's 3 videos.
The thing is, the 2010 music video looks like a J. Cole video, I would say. Like, it's got that kind of editing style.
It's a movie.
And, like, color grade and content as well.
And Tabula Rasa is it's done with like a handheld camera.
Oh,
grainy.
stop the presses! There's an interview on Apple Music. Sorry.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, like it's just got put up 2 hours ago. It's 20 minutes long.
Also,
enjoy that in your
side
free time.
note as well. Apparently, there's a secret Earl and Alchemist album on YouTube that they just put up a while back, and no one's found it yet. Or like no one has actively found it and shared it. But there's something on the internet, a project with them too. So yeah. But I just want to find it.
I thought that was this. I thought this was just him and Alchemist. I thought they were working together. It makes sense. Blah blah blah. But yeah, Black Noise has really anchored this project together because he had, in my opinion, some of the best beats on the album, which is saying something.
100%.
Oh, yeah, the best. I think. Yeah, I think the best. I think I mean, Old Friend's amazing as well, especially with no drums. And to go back to the sound or the subgenre, I mean, I don't know what to call it, so I don't want to put it in a box. But I feel like I'm not saying Earl started it, but I feel like Earl spearheaded this whole new wave of lo-fi. I guess it's like a new type of lo-fi. It's definitely with some rap songs. Obviously, this is cleaner and a bit more more polished than that. But if you look at the artists that have come since, people like Mike and Marvy and Navy Blue, and there's a whole load of them. Many who have worked with the Alchemist too. It's definitely in that lo-fi range for me, and a lot of it's drumless as well.
I was going to say none of these are songs as well. Like I don't know how to say that without sounding offensive. None of them have like real choruses or you know what I mean.
2010's the closest one to it.
Yeah.
I hear you with that.
But the rest of it's just like free flowing music. So maybe it's maybe this is poetry.
The whole kind of could count because just the way it extends itself with that instrumental.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to call this like poetry, like rap, but it's not cheesy. I don't know what to call it because this is the whole album's rap exercises. Realistically,
it's got jazz elements to it, right?
Yeah, with the production side and the flows,
and it's not conventional like structures.
There's no exactly. It's free flowing. It's definitely
that's
different.
what I mean. Yeah.
It's almost like freestyles. Like, I don't know how
they are almost like freestyles. They really are. Yeah.
I don't know how much Earl sits down and writes his music, but there's definitely like an element of like Jay-Z level thought going into these bars, but they don't feel like he sat down and was like, this is being said now and that's been. I feel like he might have rapped over these beats like 9-10 times and then gone, oh, that's the best version of this song. Because how else do you catch some of the pockets that he catches in some of these very, very bizarre beats?
It's this experimentation with the pockets, isn't it?
Mm.
It feels
Yeah.
To me,
very
it's Doom-esque.
conversational. Yeah, it's very Doom.
Didn't you say something about Earl being like the next Doom?
Yeah, not to big myself up a while back. I think I just think that I mean, there's the obvious, like he's clearly a fan, and there was the whole when they met at that festival, and there's that funny picture of him and all that. But I just always thought that he's not the same. He's very much his own rapper, and you can't imitate Doom really. But there's just, I don't know, it's just the way that they craft verses and the schemes that they use. It's just very intricate, and like I said, I really think he takes this serious, man. I think he sits there and whether it's right or thinks it through in his head, a lot goes into this, I think. And I feel like Doom was like that too.
Yeah.
But then it's effortless as well at the same time. Like the way he raps, and yeah, it's amazing, really. I think he's really, really one of the greats.
Let's just call it alternative rap, innit? I was just trying to do something.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to do
Alt
it.
rap. But all right, so
But I think.
go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, how much do you like listen to people like Mike and Navy Blue and like some of the other people I've mentioned?
I've never listened to any of them.
I can't say that I've even heard any of them. I'm just going to be real.
I just know
Well, what
Navy
I'll do
Blue
is-
because of the Earl collabs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, after this, yeah, I'll share like 2 or 3 songs, just like from each of them, and in your own time get to them, and you understand what I mean. It's like they've, especially Mike, you hear so much like some rap songs style Earl, in Mike, but I also think that Earl was taken from them because he like he says in the lyrics, he clicked up with them, and they were already making music before some rap songs. But yeah, just I'll send some stuff over later, and you may or may not agree with me, but there's definitely a movement of this type of music.
You kind of touched on what I wanted to get to next, which was about the features on the album, because Earl featured on so many different people's stuff that it's kind of confusing that on his album there's only 2 features and they're literally back to back. So this is essentially just a whole Earl album minus these.
Okay, so the thing
2
is,
features.
I heard this thing. He had actually a 21 song album for this, but he decided to cut it down because he said he doesn't want to be self-indulgent or whatever. So there probably was more features, but he thought this is the story he wants to tell.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, I think, how long is this album? It's like less than 25 minutes.
Half
25
an hour or
minutes.
something. Yeah.
You can probably put another 1 or 2 features in before it starts to get clogged, I think. And Earl's doing so much, you don't really need anyone else, I think.
I think
But
the feature tracks
someone-
are 2 of the best tracks on the album, but that's not because Earl needs these tracks to boost him up. It's
No.
just they just fit in nicely, and they actually flow.
enhanced it.
Vision and Taboo Rasa flow into each other so nicely that it's like I'm not mad at it. Like it's one of those ones where sometimes features feel a bit out of place, but none of these features feel out of place.
Why does that work, though? Because if you think about it, they are very different, aren't they?
Yeah,
Why does it work? I
No
agree
clue.
with you, but it does, isn't it? Like, it just when it's like Vision's quite. I mean, I remember the first time I heard it, the flipping when it drops. Oh my god, it was like when you stick your head out of a car window and the wind's just like blowing at you. When that dropped, it was like that. And then I guess the next track is maybe just a nice sort of breeze, like a break from the kind of intensity of that last one. I don't know.
I think it's the weirdly enough the skits tie it together. Because the end of the skit is like
This is what I was thinking.
it's like you kind of can you have this black woman talking at the end of Vision, and then the sample in Taboo Rasa is obviously a black woman that's been chopped and screwed. You know what I mean? Like it's very odd. And there's-
Soul sample.
Yeah, exactly.
and they're speaking about Billy Woods, I think his name is speaking about black issues. So it's like maybe it's that subconscious thing that you don't think about until like now, but they just fit nice. I don't know what Theo was going to say, but that's where I'm coming from.
No, I kind of agreed. I just felt like it just, I don't know, just the 2 kind of interjected that. Now I need to feel like I need to listen to Taboo Rasa, but it's at the beginning, like you said, with how they've chopped that. It just worked nicely from what the skit at the end of Vision, and it just went smoothly onto Taboo Rasa. I don't know why it just flows like that. And you made a good point in regards to Billy Woods touching on the black topics as well. It just feels like they link. I don't know why it does, but it feels nice, especially when I listen to it nonstop. They just transition as well. I don't know.
He's from Zimbabwe, by the way, I think.
Oh, is he
originally.
from Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
That makes
I
sense
think
then.
he spent
That
most
makes
of
a
his life
hell of a
in
lot of
America.
Nah, see, that makes so much sense with that verse then, because I was thinking, boy, jeez, if you're doing that with that, when it starts talking about Kofi Annan, jeez, that was
But
that
beat was made by I think Rob Chambers and Theravada. I've never heard of either of them, but yeah,
no,
very Alchemist-esque, I think that one. And Lobby was made by a producer called Sam I Am.
Yeah, that guy's sick.
Am, he produce? Is it No Wave Caps?
He's produced so much stuff. He's like a weird electronic producer from LA, I think.
20 Wave Caps from Doris.
Okay, he's like a weird electronic producer from LA, and some of his stuff that he's done with like Flying Lotus and all that kind of stuff is just really experimental and weird. So to hear him make like such a banger like Lobby is weird, because to me that's the track that if Earl performs that live, I don't know if American people really do wheel ups, but in the UK you have to wheel that up like 1,000 times. As soon as he says "don't overreact," I'm like, oh
yeah. Yeah, did you like the little basketball reference in that song, Theo, as well? The Chamberlain with the stats.
What, when he's talking about triple doubles? Or you're gonna have to.
No, he's like Sam says when he says "don't overreact," and then a bit later he says Chamberlain with the stats. Isn't Chamberlain an old basketball player?
What, Wilt Chamberlain? Wilt Chamberlain's Wilt Chamberlain's the man. And jeez, the only player in basketball to get 100 points. He's the most point. Yeah. I don't know why I just flopped with that, but yeah. Anyway,
it's the fact he actually knows that's what worries me, because the last name's not enough. I literally just looked at it now. He's like, "Oh, Wilt Chamberlain, yeah, he's done it." I'm thinking, how the fuck? Your brain's a computer, Theo. You should back your brain up in the cloud.
Yeah, no,
Theo, not you, man. You're not the sports guy.
Right.
Remember that time? I don't remember what we were arguing about, yeah, but someone was saying to somebody, "Don't test me with sports." I think it was Theo to you.
I think so, yeah.
That was funny.
I think so.
Because I was just disappointed in myself that I didn't pick that up. But no, that's nice. I'm shocked I didn't pick that up, because I do like the sports references. Because even on 2010, although I kind of feel this might be a bit of a reach, when Earl mentions about that lyrics where he's talking about from Philly, but then he goes on the fly, I'm like, oh, this is nice, because might be touching on the Philadelphia Flyers and the Eagles, man, and when they saw into the sky. But I think that's a reach from me.
That could be real, though, because I don't even know that type of shit. Right. I don't have that type of knowledge to hand.
Because honestly, the way he rhymed that, I was like, nah, I might be reaching, but I don't think I am reaching.
I don't think you are. He does references like that throughout the album.
Yeah, Earl does a lot of sport references, and even at the end of Lobby, there's that kind of clip from a baseball game, I think. I think it is, because it says something about what a slide, and I guess that's when you know. Oh, when you
when you slide to base, because you run into base, because you're going to try and get you out when you slide across. Yeah, sorry, this is me.
His word association. Like, I'm not going to put it past him that he's definitely thought of that.
Oh, it's just a word, because if I get the lyric up, I definitely think he was definitely talking about that, because it's the way he did it. Where is it? Yeah, 5-0s in the Olympics. I heard that. Yeah, not religious. We was really out in Philly, living on the fly, trying to wing it. No, I think he's doing it, man, because living on the fly, he ties the two together, the Flyers, and then trying to wing it. And you could talk about the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Yeah, no, he's definitely done that like that. That's nice.
O's are flipping. Yeah. But is it Zalupas? Is that how you say the name? Z-Loopers? I've been sleeping, man, because I almost added him straight onto my best new artist list, right, for eventual awards.
Could anyone else hear like a high pitched sound?
No.
That's your ears. Get them checked.
Loco.
No, it was my phone. That was fucking weird.
So I added this guy to my best new artist, but he's been around for time. Apparently he's like with sort of clicked up a bit with Danny Brown, and may or may not be in the Bruiser Brigade or something like that, but he's been around for a while. But this was my first time actually like recognizing who he is. Yeah, so he came straight off the list.
Sick. So what about this album in context to the highlights and lowlights of Earl's albums or discography?
I'm not ready to say it's better than some rap songs, but I think it's better than the first two. I'd definitely put it in the top 2 of his projects. I think he's done really well with this one.
We're just in that time now where concise albums that are full enough feel great in it. Like Vince's album last year, they've done it with this one as well.
Maybe that's a trend now. Maybe that is the trend. Give us, 10 songs.
I don't want to listen to like an Earl album the length of like Doris, and I don't like shit. Right
Yeah,
now.
man.
Do
It
you know what I mean?
just goes on a bit too long.
This feels perfect. To me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like
for
he's
now.
definitely onto something with this, and obviously, I don't want to hear the same thing again and again and again. But I'd like to see what the progression of this.
It's like Sean
style
said though.
is.
He mastered the messiness of some rap songs. Like this is what Sean said before it dropped. He was hoping like it would be like a refined version of that and like honed in. And he's done that. He's been like, yeah, let me get Jay-Z's audio engineer. I'm gonna fix up, make it all clear. He done it.
What about you, Theo?
Yeah, I think it's one of his some of his best work. To be honest with you, I'll put it in the put it in the bracket of his top albums. Really, I think he's really shown. Well, he just sounds great again. Not that he didn't, and this is partly because of me. Like I said, I kind of feel like I've did a disservice to Earl, really, because I feel like I didn't carry on my journey when maybe I should have. So I can't really comment on that, but. From what I've heard of this, I just think, this is some of his best work. But I would need to personally revisit before I could even mention where Sick fits.
Yeah, I think in fairness to you though, Theo, I think Earl's sort of descent into the underground has been very conscious. I think that's what he wanted. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's as far as like what a JPEG Mafia says, where he kind of just wants to sieve out the fans from the people that aren't really fucking with him, which is why he'll just be like really abrasive and things like that. I think with Earl, I'm trying to like look at it now from like I'm trying to put myself in his perspective. If you think how young he was when he dropped the very first mixtape, and then he gets sent off to flipping Samoa, and in that time, Odd Future become like one of the biggest things on the internet, and all these people are calling for him to come back, and then he comes back from this period of just like complete isolation from the world almost, and he's this star. It must have been a lot to take at 18, 19? Must have been some shock to the system. So by the time we get to I Don't Like Shit, where I think he sounds angry in that album, I think he was just ready to lie low. And that's why by the time some rap songs came along, his popularity had really dipped, because I think he just consciously didn't want to be in the limelight. He didn't want the fame and things like that. So yeah, I think that's why maybe you've kind of like lost track of him.
I feel like this album's definitely going to put Earl on a lot more people's radars. Like anybody that likes rap music will listen to this and go, "Oh shit, this guy's someone I should have been listening to, or I'm going to listen to going forward." And flowing on from that, what are the takeaway tracks for everybody on this?
I'm going to avoid all the singles, so I'm going to go for Old Friend, Vision, and Fire in the Hole.
Okay.
Well, I'll go next. So mine's let me get the track list up. Mine's 2010, Fire in the Hole, and Lie.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran, what's yours?
Same as Theo's actually as well.
Oh, sick.
I don't. Why are you avoiding the single, Sean?
Just because I had them, like I banged two of them.
Just a question, Theo. Why are you laughing?
I feel like I don't know. I'd listened to them so much before the album that I wanted to pick all the ones that were a bit fresher, I guess.
Fair enough. Mine's the middle section of the album, man. Vision, Taboo Rasa, and Lobby. I don't know why you guys.
It's a reasonable question.
No, man can avoid the singles if he wants to avoid
the question. No, the question was fine. It was Sean's reaction that did me. He almost felt like he was attacked by.
Oh no!
I don't get what these two have been on. Mate.
It wasn't an attack.
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't feel it either. I don't know.
I thought it was calm, but something's tickled
same.
Theo again. What's everybody's scores for this then? Because it'll be interesting. I want Kieran to go first because I feel like he always waits for us to pick.
Oh, good.
God. And then he gives a number.
This time I was saying to myself, I'm definitely not going first.
Nah, yeah, you have to go first, man.
And I was thinking like No, man, like 5 minutes before this call, I was thinking like I need to come up with a score right now.
Yeah.
But the way this conversation's gone, it's made me appreciate a lot more, which I have been today anyway, but you've made sense of my thoughts. Man, no, don't do this to me.
I was about to say, I'm waiting for a number. I'm waiting to
Listen,
hear a
we're
number.
not trying to-
All I'm hearing is
but-
hella waffle. Like, all I'm hearing is.
I'm doing my
Should we all
monologue.
say it at the same time?
Oh,
It's
that's
a
a
monologue.
mess.
No, that's quite a good idea,
that's-
Sean. You
No,
know,
because
that is a
Kieran's
good
not going to
idea.
say a number, Sean.
we'll
He's
say
just
it at
going
the
to listen.
same time and then just clarify what we said, innit? Because oh man, I'm not trying to do 2021 again. I know I gave Pop Smoke a 9.
No, but Pop Smoke was
can't.
a madness. I'm sorry, that was a madness.
I'm still waiting to hear a number all
I'm
now.
coming-
I'm hearing hella
I'm coming
waffle.
legit with my scores this year, man.
We can't all say it at once. 'Cause that makes no sense.
Oh, do you want me to go first? I'll go first.
Oh, you go. You go first.
Let me go first. Innit?
Oh,
Let me just
God. Here we
first.
go. Here we
Okay,
go.
Kieran's going first.
Entertainment value. I guess like 8.5.
Ah, see, that's all right, man. I don't know why you were worrying.
No, because
Score's all right.
before this phone call, I
9.7 or something.
nah, before this phone call, I did actually say I was going to give it an 8 in it, just because I was trying to keep it like grounded.
He tried to ground himself.
It's better than,
All right,
yeah,
go
no,
on,
it's
Theo.
better than an 8. No, you don't. No, mine's an 8.3. That was a good score, Kieran. No, it's solid. Nothing to worry about, man. It's yeah, it's better than an 8. Definitely better
Yeah.
than an 8.
It is.
Sean?
8.4.
8.4. I'm sitting at a nice, healthy 8.5 as well. That's only because I don't feel like I've had any good rap music like this in a long time.
It's just everything you want from an album, isn't it? Right now,
Overall, it's at 8.4.
beats, bars,
That's the average score.
concise.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't had a rap album like this in a while. That's why I gave it an 8.5 as well. But that's just personal preference.
Wait,
Everyone
hold
knows.
on. What was the
I rate
average?
8.4.
8.4.
Is that what Theo said? Or
No. Sean this time.
Oh,
I
this
said
time,
8.3.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking, has Theo done it again? But no,
No.
yeah.
To be precise, the precise score is 8.425, but we don't go into the second decimal point because that upsets Sean.
Do you know what it is? I don't know about you lot, but because we were speaking very highly of it, I feel like whilst we appreciate the conciseness, and I think it suits Earl because of how much he packs in, it at the same time feels limited. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get. I feel like when you have an album that's borderline EP length, you're not going to get as much as you would get in like Little Sims album or a Tyler album. Do you get what I'm saying?
the thing is, though, like we analyzed Old Friend. That song is literally only like 40-second rap or even less.
That's what I was about
But
to
like,
say.
we analyzed it.
It's
like a
very
whole
compact,
record.
man. It's like
Yeah.
Robinsons. We could have had the diluted version, or we could have this very strong formula. Like I'm not mad with the strong formula.
It's a
Man.
heavy shot.
I mean, look, I'm always open to changing score, and like for instance, my Gets one went up last year, and this and that. So I wouldn't be surprised if in a few months, maybe or even less, that this pushes into the sort of 8.5, 8.6 range, because it feels like maybe it should be a 9. Like if we rounded it out, it feels like it should be more towards the 9 than the 8.
Hey, this is Kieran and thanks for listening. Shout out to my Indian people, I see you. Don't leave without hitting the link in the podcast notes to join our Discord server, where the discourse of our episodes continues. We've got curated playlists and more for you to check out there. Namaskar.